is called Mala. Maybe she's forgotten.
Yeah. So Anupama Mishra, Anubodha. So surely there's like after. So we'll make a new group. We'll make a new group. Let's start. Om Deva Sudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vichyanaram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayan Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtike Omayana Timirandasya Gyanam Chakshurumiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhangitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastete Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastavitri Prabhupada Priya Shri Girirajaya Sami Sudhantara Sri Chatma Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastavitri Shmati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Shri Guru Devi. So we are concluding Bhagavad Gita. So this is conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. So this is chapter 18. So I don't know how many lessons it will take. Well, this is the longest chapter, but we should be able to go fast because we have spent sufficient time discussing, 2 years. How long this has been going on? 2.5 years. Usually it takes me 2.5 years to complete Bhagavad Gita. So, but you've been a very mature group, so we've been fast. Oh yeah, Rashmi also is in this group. Huh? She's joining. Rashmi is in this group. Did I even know her? No, Rashmi. No, Rashmi is there. Okay. So chapter 18 text. Arjuna Vacha Sanyasasya Mahabaho Tattvamichami Veditam Tyagasya cha Rishikesha Vitakkeshi Nisudana. Shikala, you like to read?
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Arjun said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyag, and of the renounced order of life, sannyas. O killer of the Kesi demon, master of the senses. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Actually, the Bhagavad Gita is finished in 17 chapters. The 18th chapter is a supplementary summarization of the topics discussed before. In every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna stresses that devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. This same point is summarized in the 18th chapter as the most confidential path of knowledge. In the first 6 chapters, stress was given to devotional service. Yoginam api sarvesham. Of all yogis or transcendentalists, one who always thinks of me within himself is best. In the next 6 chapters, pure devotional service and its nature and activity were discussed. In the third 6 chapters, knowledge, renunciation, the activities of material nature and transcendental nature and devotional service were described. It was concluded that all acts should be performed in conjunction with the Supreme Lord, represented by the words Om Tat Sat, which indicate Vishnu, the Supreme Person. The third part of Bhagavad Gita has shown that devotional service and nothing else is the ultimate purpose of life. This has been established by citing past acharyas and the Brahma Sutra, the Vedanta Sutra. Certain impersonalists consider themselves to have a monopoly on the knowledge of Vedanta Sutra, but actually the Vedanta Sutra is meant for understanding devotional service, for the Lord himself is the composer of the Vedanta Sutra and he is its Lord. That is described in the 15th chapter. In every scripture, every Veda, devotional service is the objective. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita. As in the second chapter, a synopsis of the whole subject matter was described. In the 18th chapter also, the summary of all instruction is given. The purpose of life is indicated to be renunciation and attainment of the transcendental position above the 3 material modes of nature. Arjun wants to clarify the two distinct subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, namely renunciation, tyag, and the renounced order of life, sannyas. Thus, he is asking the meaning of these two words. Two words used in this verse to address the Supreme Lord, Rishikesha and Kesi Nishudana, are significant. Rishikesh is Krishna, the master of all senses, who can always help us attain mental serenity. Arjun requests him to summarize everything in such a way that he can remain equipoised. Yes, he has some doubts, and the doubts are always compared to demons. He therefore addresses Krishna as Kesi Nisudan. Kesi was the most formidable demon who was killed by the Lord. Now Arjun is expecting Krishna to kill the demon of doubt. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Ashwini, you can read text too. Ashwini, you're reading?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Shri Bhagavan Vacha काम्यानां कर्मणां न्यासं सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणः. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "The giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyasa. And giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, tyaga." Mataji, I'll read it again. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "The giving up of activities that are based on material desire, giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyasa. And giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation." Okay, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The performance of activities for results has to be given up. This is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. But activities leading to advanced spiritual knowledge are not to be given up. This will be made clear in the next verses. In the Vedic literature, there are many prescriptions of methods for performing sacrifice for some particular purpose. There are certain sacrifices to perform to attain a good son or to attain elevation to the higher planets. But sacrifices promoted by desire should be stopped. However, sacrifice for the purification of one's heart or for advancement in the spiritual science should not be given up.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalam Tyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha. So the Supreme Person of Godhead said, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life. So two things. One is the activity and one is what? Two things there.
Results of activities, karma phala.
Yeah. One is the activity itself, the activity which is based on what?
Desire, material desires.
Material desire. The entire world, even though they are pious, leave aside the impious and the demons, but those who are pious, they are full of desires, right? So this is not sannyas. You do some work, you go to worship, but you're full of desires. So here Krishna is saying, no, we have to accept this sannyas, and we should give up to work for personal sense gratification. So whoever, doesn't matter what's the color of your dress. Whoever is able to work without material desire is sannyas, right? And then when you get the result of the work, right? You get the result of the work. So the result of all activity is called
Tyaga.
karma phala.
Karma phala.
Yeah, you give up. You're giving up the result, meaning that, let's say I make disciples. All of us, we are preaching, we are having group students. But if I start to think that I possess or own these students, and I don't let them grow, right? Then this is not tyag. It's not renunciation. So my initial desire was that I want to serve Krishna. I'm taking it in our context, and that's outside people. Because all of us were preaching here. So we can relate to that. So my basic motivation is in accepting students. It is to make them become devotee of Krishna. This is sannyas. Meaning I'm not doing it because I have some material desire, not that I'm going to charge them a fee and make, build my house from the fee. My basic desire is that I want to make them become devotees. So this is perfect. I have no material desire. Now, when you have the students, if you don't give them up to Krishna, meaning you guide them and you let them go on the path, you want to hold them back. You want them to be under your control. This is what we also observe among many group leaders. They just want to hold on and don't let the person go. Right? So this is not tyag. We should be able to let the person go and go for higher and higher development. Right? I think that teachers, I remember one person was saying that on devotee in a class, he said that teachers, they're in a better position than parents. So he's saying that parents hold, teachers teach and let go. So this, it can be quite a challenge. I mean, for me, I've been teaching my whole life. I can really tell you that, whether you like it or not, you get attached to your students. You do get attached to your students. But like we have to learn to be like parents. I mean, by force we had to, because especially when we're teaching girls, meaning that girls will just go away, right? Everybody will go away. So it's a very good practice. So karma phala, so meaning you have work. So this is renunciation. All right, next 3. Now Krishna is going to elaborate so much. This is a summary, as we are saying. Prabhupada always says a summary. So we should pay very, very much attention to whatever we are reading. We are going to go fast. Rashmi, are you able
Mataji,
to read?
I have one question.
Yeah.
See, here it is said one is sannyasi. So giving up results of act. So the second tyaga, is it referred to the sannyasi doing tyaga or for general public? I mean, general devotees.
Anyone. See, that's going to be
Anyone.
elaborated. Sannyas, dress. It is, though, like, there is the sannyas ashram, which is very much visible to everybody. But anybody can be sannyasi. Mentally, you can be sannyasi. You don't, it's not that women cannot be sannyasi. Actually, my Guru Maharaj explained, he said that, why is it that women are not given that official sannyas? Because they can't do the work of the sannyasi. Sannyasi means that you have to leave home and you have to walk outside in the world. Women cannot do this, they'll get attacked. And they don't have physical strength also to do it, right? Everybody knows whoever sat in the forest to meditate, the demons came to catch them, right? So, but does it mean that they are not sannyasis? They can't be sannyasis. So the sannyasis sitting at home. Best example is Devahuti. When her husband took sannyas, she sat at home and performed bhakti. Another example is Suniti. When her husband neglected her, what did she do? Her little boy went to the forest, she sat down and was a sannyasi, right? That's it.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be elaborated. So it's your state of consciousness and what you're able to do. Rashmi, are you able to read? Are you there?
Mataji, I'm there, but I can't read, Mataji.
Okay, fine. Okay. Shikala?
Yes, Mataji, thank you. त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदान तपः कर्म न त्याज्यम् इति चापरे. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as a faulty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Purport. There are many activities in the Vedic literature which are subjects of contention. For instance, it is said that an animal can be killed in a sacrifice, yet some maintain that animal killing is completely abominable. Although animal killing in a sacrifice is recommended in the Vedic literature, the animal is not considered to be killed. The sacrifice is to give a new life to the animal. Sometimes the animal is given a new animal life after being killed in the sacrifice, and sometimes the animal is promoted immediately to the human form of life. But there are different opinions among the sages. Some say that animal killing should always be avoided, and others say that for a specific sacrifice it is good. All these different opinions on sacrificial activities are now being clarified by the Lord Himself.
Yeah, can go on.
Okay. निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागे भरतसत्तम त्यागो हि पुरुष व्याघ्र त्रिविध संप्रकीर्तितः. O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Purport. Although there are differences of opinion about renunciation, here the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, gives his judgment, which should be taken as a final. After all, the Vedas are different laws given by the Lord. Here the Lord is personally present, and his word should be taken as final. The Lord says that the process of renunciation should be considered in terms of the modes of material nature in which they are performed.
Okay. So Arjuna is Kshatriya, so he's addressed as Purusha Vyagra, you know. Can you imagine if Purusha Vyagra has to give up the result of his work? Yeah, is it possible? I mean, but what is this Tyaga? Kshatriya who owns and possesses and control the entire world is being asked, give up Tyag. So very, very difficult, extremely difficult. So what is renunciation? And what is proper renunciation is Krishna is going to speak about this. So Gyan, Dana, Tapa, these karma should never be given up. Yeah. Continue to read.
यज्ञदान तपः कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञोदानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम्. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. Purpose. The yogis should perform acts for the advancement of human society. There are many purificatory processes for advancing a human being to spiritual life. The marriage ceremony, for example, is considered to be one of these sacrifices. It is called Vivah Yagna. Should a sannyasi who is in the renounced order of life and who has given up his family relations encourage the marriage ceremony? The Lord says here that any sacrifice which is meant for human welfare should never be given up. Vivah Yagna, the marriage ceremony, is meant to regulate the human mind so that it may become peaceful for spiritual advancement. For most men, this Vivah Yagna should be encouraged even by persons in the renounced order of life. Sannyasis should never associate with women, but that does not mean that one who is in the lower stages of life, a young man, should not accept a wife in the marriage ceremony. All prescribed sacrifices are meant for achieving the Supreme Lord. Therefore, in the lower stages, they should not be given up. Similarly, charity is for the purification of the heart. If charity is given to suitable persons as described previously, it leads one to advanced spiritual life.
Hmm. Yagya. So Prabhupada takes the example of Vivah Yagya. So Vivah Yagya is not for sannyasis, right? It's for householders. But it doesn't mean that every sannyasi should go against Vivah Yagya, because the young men will not be able to take it. So the Vivah Yagya is not for sannyasis themselves, but it is that he should encourage, if required. He should support whoever wants to enter Grihastha ashram. So all prescribed sacrifices are meant for achieving the Supreme Lord. Therefore, in the lower stages, they should not be given up. So meaning that these yagya, yagya for someone who is, it has to be understood at different stages. The principle that yagya should not be given up. What is the meaning of yagya? What is this yagya?
To please the Vishnu.
Any activity that's meant to please Vishnu. Any activity. Like we have, where's all this described in Bhagavad Gita? Now we reach the chapter 18. Okay, let's do a revision. Where are all, which chapter? All the different types of yagya. Which chapter describes?
No, not third chapter. 16, I think 16. 14 or 16?
In great elaboration.
16.
Different types of how the
Yagya.
chapter is about yagya.
Yes.
Very disappointed if you can't give me the answer.
16 or 17?
Chapter 4.
Okay, chapter 4.
All the different types of yagyas are described. The yagya of the brahmachari, the yagya of the grihastha, the vanaprastha, and the sannyas. The yagya of the yogi, the yagya of the karma, the karmi, like bhakti, mukti, siddhi, kanu, so you have to study your Bhagavad Gita all over again. You then give me that answer. Yagya meaning whatever activity you are doing should be done for the sake of Krishna. So all prescribed sacrifices, meaning the brahmachari, he sacrifices the sense of hearing, and he practices celibacy. This is his yagya. To control the senses. Right? Then the grihastha, what is his yagya? We should give in charity. Right? This is the yagya of the household. And at the same time, should continue to hear. What is the yagya of the householder? The vanaprast? Tapasya, meaning no more sex life. This is his yagya or her yagya. Right? And so that's why they go on pilgrimage. They practice dependence on the Supreme Lord and they control the senses. So they come back to the brahmachari ashram. Right? So these are the prescribed sacrifices, the yagyas. All sacrifices are meant for to practice. So if somebody in household life, he cannot behave as if he's a brahmachari, right? Once you step out from the brahmachari life, you come into household life. You have to behave and do all the duties of a householder. You can't say, no, say, it's not a question of sex life. Even in Grihastha ashram, there has to be control. There has to be celibacy in household life also. But it's now you're living with a woman or you're living with a man, right? So then children will come. What is their need, right? So you can't say, no, I'm just going to be free bird, We have stepped into Grihastha ashram, we walk into the cage. So we have to do their prescribed duty, but it's not forever. 25 years. After 25 years, the Grihastha has to walk out of that cage, right? For death. Should be appropriate according to your stage in life. And then charity, similarly, charity is for the purification of the heart. Like we are attached. We don't want to give. We don't want to give. Hold on. Even I have sufficient, still I hold on. Like this one man, I guess I also, in my small way of experience, say that he wanted to, go down, so many years back. A go down is costing very huge. Like 50 years ago, a go down, which means 10,000 rupees, you have to give that go down. Today, 10,000 rupees is like giving money in water. It has no value at all, right? So that time, maybe it was worth 1 lakh. So he was describing to me, how he gave a donation of a car. He told me his heart was pumping like this. Very honest person. Maybe he was Gujarati, I don't know. He told me my heart was pumping like this. Give or not give. So if you manage to give, then this purifies the heart. So it's a habit. These are habits that we have to develop. Like we say, we do book marathon now, we take Vidyadan, Janmashtami come, we collect donation. So, like the people say, go to the same person again every year. Go to the same person again and again, because the person must develop the habit of giving. Right? If you let go of that person, then we're finished. Because they have so many things to spend their money on, right? So many things. And so everybody wants to keep their fist closed. So if you keep on bugging the person, gradually his fist will open. And he will start giving with open heart, right? So this is the purification of the heart. This is the tyag. So devotees, Prabhupada is very merciful. We may not appreciate it all the time. What is it, begging people, asking them for money. But actually it's for the good of the person. It's very much for the good of the person. So it's burden on the heart when you hold on, you have, and you're not ready to share. And you have to remember also, maybe I don't know where we read it, second canto. Charity, the more you give, the more you receive. One-way traffic, no. You receive in so many ways. Number one thing, you will never starve. If you charity, you will never starve. Secondly, you will always have a house to live, right? The other things may be luxury. Your place to live is guaranteed. So if we do it in better and better consciousness, finally we'll be ready to Deha Tyag, right? Deha Tyag, that's the final sacrifice. Take that body, put it in fire, and I don't want another one. So the practice of giving in charity is to finally give your body in charity. Once for all, and never get it back. So here Prabhupada is saying that if charity is given to suitable persons, as described previously, it leads one to advance spiritual life. Because if you give charity to Brahmanas or to Vaishnavas, they're going to use it in Krishna's service. And because their lives are pure, then you are inheriting their punya.
Can't hear you, Mataji.
You can't hear me?
No, what did you say?
Oh,
Now,
you,
now I can. Before that, what did you say? I can't hear.
Just one line we couldn't hear,
Yeah,
Mataji.
no, one line.
which line?
Before this, you spoke.
I said so. Let it be.
Mataji,
What
you
is-
said that, did you say that when we give to a Brahman or to a Vaishnav, we inherit his punya? Is that what? Is that
Yeah,
actually?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, yes. So we get the good qualities, right? When we give in, and we're giving charity to Vaishnavas, to Brahmanas, we get their good qualities. That's the reward. Because people are so addicted to sinful activities. They do not have the strength to give up sinful activities. But when you give in charity, giving charity to Brahmanas and to Vaishnavas, meaning that you are giving to Krishna directly, right? Because they will use it 100% in Krishna's service. They're not going to keep one side and smoke ganja, right? And they will measure. They won't squander whatever you give them. They will not squander. If they start squandering, then they will become misers. And then the flow of charity towards them will be checked. This is such a science. Somebody is giving you charity, you have to measure each and every amount. How you are using. Example is Prabhupada. He kept it, account. Ashwini read?
Hare Krishna. Text 6. एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्वक्ता फलानि च कर्तव्यानिति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्. Translation. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectations of result. They should be performed as matter of duty, O son of Pratha. That is my final opinion. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although all sacrifices are purifying, one should not expect any result by such performances. In other words, all sacrifices which are meant for material advancement in life should be given up. But sacrifices that purify one's existence and elevate one to the spiritual plane should not be stopped. Everything that leads to Krishna consciousness must be encouraged. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, also it is said that any activity which leads to devotional service to the Lord should be accepted. That is the highest criterion of religion. A devotee of the Lord should accept any kind of work, sacrifice, or charity which will help him in the discharge of devotional service to the Lord.
Okay, so now about the work, right? What about the work? So work should not be stopped, but work that is unfavorable. Gambling is unfavorable, right? So we don't work where there's gambling or any other sinful activities. So we give this up. But any work that will promote your Krishna consciousness, your earning, right? This is within Varnashram Dharma. You're working as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. So the rules are given. And you have to work within those parameters. And the aim of our work is to satisfy Vishnu. All right. Yeah, go on.
Text 7. नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागस्तामसः परिकीर्तितः. Translation. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in mode of ignorance. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity like cooking for the Supreme Lord and offering the food to the Lord and then accepting the food are recommended. It is said that a person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in mode of darkness.
Yes. So material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity like cooking for the Lord. So say, no. This is how Mayavadis think. No, I will not touch fire. Which chapter is this?
What, Mataji? What did you ask?
Sannyasi who's, this wants to say, I will not touch fire. Which chapter in Bhagavad Gita Krishna speaks about that? So, no, I will not touch fire. Which chapter Krishna speaks about that? Chapter 6, right? A sannyasi is one who cooks for Krishna. A sannyasi is not somebody who will not touch fire. So these are the philosophies that float around, you know. Yeah. No.
Text 8. I'll read, Mataji.
Yeah.
8. दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म कायक्लेश भयात् त्यजेत् स कृत्वा राजसं त्यागं नैव त्यागफलं लभेत्. Translation: anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. Purport: by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who is in Krishna consciousness should not give up earning money out of fear that he is performing fruitive activities. If by working one can engage his money in Krishna consciousness, or if by rising early in the morning one can advance his transcendental Krishna consciousness, one should not desist out of fear of becoming a fear or because such activities are considered troublesome. Such renunciation is in mode of passion. The result of passionate work is always miserable. If a person renounces work in that spirit, he never gets the result of renunciation.
Yeah. So, you know, again, householders, men or women who don't want to get married because it's troublesome to maintain a family.
Oh.
Are they brahmacharis and brahmachari? I have no idea what they are. So, not that they're actually sannyasis. It's just that they don't want to take the trouble of maintaining a family. So therefore say, no marriage. I just want to be free and live my life. You know, it's like, unless you're practicing Krishna consciousness, to simply give up household life, you become most selfish. Most selfish. You have feelings for nobody. You don't know how to serve somebody, how to receive somebody. Zero hospitality. So therefore, how will you serve Krishna, who is a household person? Right? Krishna is not alone. Krishna is surrounded by his family members. So this Grihastha ashram is a practice to actually serve Krishna. So if we will say no, so one who is in Krishna consciousness should not give up earning money out of fear that he's performing fruitive activities. If by working one can engage his money in Krishna consciousness, okay, let's leave that aside. One should not desist out of fear or because such activities are considered troublesome. Let me take it this way. Anyone who gives a prescribed duty as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mood of passion. I read some Purana, I read, if a boy is not earning, he should not get married. So that's a rule, that's like his karma. His karma is such that the laws of nature didn't allow him to earn, in order to maintain a family. Right? Maybe there are other things that he's meant to do. But if somebody doesn't want to enter Grihastha ashram, or even they get married, they say, we'll have no children. Because I'm hearing all this. Why? It's too much trouble. How is the one-child syndrome? Right? This topic of sannyas is deeper than we think. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome, or they enter Grihastha life and then they say, no, I'll take sannyas and I'll just dump my children. And what will I do? I will sit in some temple, aramse. I'll do no work. It's so easy to be in a temple, and just sit and do nothing. So therefore, Prabhupada, when he made his temple, no crazy and no lazy, right? Why everybody is being pushed? Do book distribution, do all the festival. Every month there is a festival. Can you sit? If you will sit, after some time you'll have to go. So, to just sit in a temple and live as a beggar. So anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort, how to work so hard, how to face so much, politics at work. That I come here and just relax. I join in office in Hare Krishna land and I sit, relax and say, today I'm not coming to work. Tomorrow I'm not coming to work. Just drop a message and it's done, right? In Krishna consciousness should not give up earning money out of fear that he's performing fruitive activities. If by working one can engage his money in Krishna consciousness, or if by rising early in the morning one can advance his strength in Krishna consciousness, one should not desist out of fear, or because such activities are considered troublesome. Such renunciation is a mode of passion. The result of passionate work is always miserable. If a person renounces work in that spirit, he never gets the result of renunciation. What is the result of a renunciation? What is the result of renunciation?
कृष्ण के प्रति प्रेम प्रीति.
Yes. We are renouncing material attachments so that we can develop spiritual attachment to Krishna. So, here Krishna is speaking about, he started with renunciation, sacrifice. So duties, like how to perform duties, let me see. Karyamityeva yat karma niyatam kriyate juna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga sadviko mataha. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. Prescribed duty must be performed with this mentality, meaning if you have taken up a seva, you are teaching or you're cooking, whatever, must be performed with this mentality. One should act with that attachment of the result. Not that I'm going to cook for Ras Bihari and then I will get the Mahaprasad. And I will choose what I will cook so that after prasadam is over, I will get this because I want to eat this. Therefore, I cook for Radharas Vihari, right? So I can take it home for myself and my family. Prescribed duties must be performed with this mentality. One should work without attachment for the result. He should be dissociated from the modes of work. A man working Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of that factory, nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna. And when he gives up the result for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally. And so we found in this section about prescribed duties or karma. So text 7 was about ignorance, text 8 was about passion, and text 9 is about goodness. So in text 7, so here Prabhupada gives, see, Prabhupada is speaking according to what he's experiencing, and I'm speaking about what I'm seeing, right? So each one of us, we are living our life and having different experiences. So we will give those examples. So Prabhupada is saying here, in text 7, it says we should not give up cooking for Krishna, thinking that, I'm not going to touch fire. And so such a sannyasi is in the mode of ignorance. Then Prabhupada speaks about a sannyasi perform marriage ceremony. Now, of course, it is not the duty of sannyasis to perform marriage ceremonies. It is detrimental to them if they perform marriage ceremonies because it will increase their own sensual desires, right? So it's strictly forbidden. Only grihasthas are allowed to perform marriage ceremonies, but Prabhupada performed marriage ceremonies. Why? So that was a case of emergency. It's not a rule. It's an emergency because there were no Brahmana, there were no grihastha. Prabhupada was the only one. So what will he do? Make the boyfriend and girlfriend life? He says, better I bend a rule of sannyas, right? And get these boys and girls married so that they can live a dharmic, regulated life. And they learn to, practice Krishna consciousness within the banks of an institution, right? So, as soon as Prabhupada made Brahmanas have qualified grihasthas who could do the marriage ceremonies, he himself never performed any marriage ceremonies. The only yagya for him was the Diksha yagya, right? So we have to be extremely careful not to say, okay, Prabhupada did marriage ceremony, so it's okay for all sannyasis to do marriage ceremonies. So, something you have to think. You have to consider and think. So, spreading Krishna consciousness is very risky. Extremely risky. And similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he's acting in the mode of darkness. All right, so text 7 was ignorance, text 8 was renunciation in mode of passion, and text 9 is renunciation in the mode of goodness, meaning he's performing his work because it ought to be done. This has been given to me. So he's just doing it because you gave me, like Krishna told Arjuna, you fight. Arjuna said, I'm not going to fight. Krishna said, you fight. Then Arjuna said, no, okay. Because you are saying, only for your sake I'm doing it. Otherwise, I don't want to do. And I don't want the result either. So he renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit. All material association means that his work, so Prabhupada gives an example. Let's say you're working in a factory, like you're working people, right? So you're going, you're earning, but you're not taking the association of the people around you. Like I was saying yesterday, that man told me how people in Bombay, they come from small cities and then they go and work multinational companies. So they gradually adopt the ways of these multinational people so that they can maintain their status and they can earn. Otherwise, they won't earn any money. So they break the regular principles for the sake of money. So here, he should be dissociated from the modes of work. A man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory doesn't associate himself with the work of the factory. He's doing it only because he has to earn. And he should choose what work he's doing. He should not break the regular principles. So he's not associating with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. It's not that everybody has to become drunkards, because drunkards are all around you. It's a matter of choice. It's not that everybody's eating meat, you have to also eat meat. Devotees have to be very strong. They have to be intelligent, they have to be smart, they have to be strong. They have to be dependent on the Supreme Lord. In working in this Kali Yuga, it's always risky. Any time of the day, of the night, of the era, doesn't matter. As soon as you put your lotus feet in this material world, it becomes dirty, right? So therefore, there are bound to be so many problems, so many temptations, so many pulling you down. You're trying to go up, so pulling you down. Enemies of Krishna consciousness. They're thinking, how can they pull you down? And if you are not careful and we break those regulatory principles, somebody will manage to catch us. So sincerity is so important, extremely important. And do not go beyond your capacity. Don't think that I can play with Maya. Don't think that I'm very strong. So in 3 verses, Prabhupada has given properly the art of work. All right. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much.
Patitanam Bhavantam Vaishnava. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.